Why are fixed index annuities so popular now? Why are they going crazy? Why are people buying them left and right? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're here to talk about that. My name's James Akers. I'm a financial planner for Akers Financial, which is part of the Akers Group. And our website will be at the bottom of the screen. You can check us out. But the reason that fixed index annuities have become so popular is because they de-risk your money. I'm going to say it again. They de-risk your money. Here's what I mean by that. When you have your money in the stock market, you get the highs of the market. So if the market's up 10%, you get 10% gains on those stocks. But if the market's down 10%, you lose 10% of your principal. That's the risky part of the stock market. Now, I own stock. I've got obviously my own portfolio and everything else. So I'm not against stock. But when we're talking about your retirement or planning for your financial security, I don't want you to be in a situation that people were in 2008 where they lost half of their 401k. I was talking with a client recently that their retirement plan lost about 25% over the last 2 years. I mean, we're talking major losses. You save your whole life for your retirement, and then all of a sudden take a 25-point loss or even a 10-point loss can be devastating, because as we get older in years, we're planning our retirement. We have less years to work if we take a loss. What I mean by that is if you're in your 30s or 40s, you may want to have a little bit more risk involved. As you get older, a little bit older though, you want to start de-risking your portfolio, because if you're 30 years old and you take a 20% loss, well, it's terrible. You don't want to take a loss. But you got another 30, 35 years to make it up. But if you're 55 or 60 and you take a 10 or a 20-point loss, you only have, 5 to 10 more years or so of work left to try to make that up. You're in a pretty bad situation. You've lost a lot of your money. So that's why I personally love and I endorse fixed indexed annuities. Now, you want to make sure you're with the right ones. Let me tell you what I mean by the right ones. The fixed index annuities I've been writing recently for my clients and advising my clients to go into, they're what I call a zero floor, but a huge zero floor product, which means the floor of them is zero. You cannot lose money in a fixed index annuity the way I write them. And I'm going to say it again, you cannot lose money. It's a zero, which means if the market goes down 10 points, you don't lose anything. You literally lose nothing. Your portfolio stays where it's at, even if the market's down, because you have a zero floor. But being an indexed annuity, we index that with certain aspects of the market, like the S&P, or we find different funds that have produced historically well, and you get the gains of those funds. So let's say you had one of my fixed index annuities, and your funds were up 10 points, you just earned 10%. But if you're down 10 points, you didn't lose any money. You still have what you had. Excuse me. That's why people are going crazy over fixed index annuities. I'm going to give you a real-time analysis real quick, or analogy, if you will. So let's say you had $500,000, $500,000, okay? And that $500,000 is invested in a standard stock portfolio, a 401k, a TSP, an IRA, you name it, fill in the acronym, whatever you want to call it. Your money's invested in the market, okay? If you have $500,000 and the market's down 10 points, 10%, you now have $450,000. That's what you have, because you just lost 10% of your retirement savings. If you had that same $500,000 in a fixed index annuity and the market's down 10%, guess what? You still got $500,000. You didn't lose anything. Let me show you why that's so powerful. Let's take that same scenario, and let's just, for the sake of this, let's say that the market's down 10% this year, up 10% next year. We're going to use that as an example. Excuse me. By the way, it can happen. So if you have $500,000 in a standard IRA, 401k, TSP, or stock portfolio, and the market's down 10 points this year, you now have $450,000. If it goes up 10% next year, that 10% is based on the $450,000 you have now, because it's based on your principal. So if you take $450,000 plus 10%, you now have $495,000. So that $500,000 you had in this scenario, down 1 year 10 points, up the next year 10 points, you literally lost $5,000. The reason I point that out is a lot of people think, well, if I lose 10% this year, as long as it gains 10% next year, I'm fine. That's not the case. When you lose money in your portfolio, your principal goes down. So the next year, the gains are based on the lower amount that you now have in your principal, not what you used to have. Make sense? Same scenario, fixed index annuity. You have $500,000 in a fixed indexed annuity. It goes, the market's down 10%, you still have $500,000. The next year it's up 10%. Now you've gained $50,000, you have $550,000. So, two real scenarios here. Scenario one, $500,000 in a regular standard retirement plan or stock market portfolio. Down 10 points, up 10 points, you lost $5,000. In a fixed indexed annuity, down 10 points, up 10 points, you made 50 grand. That is a $55,000 difference simply because your money was in the right place. That's why they're selling like hotcakes. That's why most of my business in the last few months has all been fixed index annuities. One more scenario. Let's say same $500,000, but let's say it's a really bad stock year and the market's down 20%, but it rebounds and it gains 10% the next year. In that scenario, if you had $500,000 in a standard IRA, 401k, TSP, or stock portfolio, $500,000 minus 20%, you have $400,000 now. The next year, if it's up 10 points, you now have $440,000. You, my friend, have lost $60,000 of your hard-earned retirement savings. That same money in a fixed index annuity, if you had that $500,000 and the market's down 20%, doesn't matter. You have a zero floor. You still have $500,000. So the next year when it's up 10%, you now have $550,000. You're talking about a $110,000 difference in your retirement fund because the money was in the right place. Guys, fixed index annuities are strong. They're great. They're good products. You literally cannot lose money the way that we structure these products, but you still have the highs that you can hit as the market goes up. Check them out. Do your research. Give my office a call. The number's on my screen if we can help you at all. What I really specialize in is tax-free retirement planning. But lately, man, almost all my business has been helping people with 401ks and TSPs and IRAs or just savings, moving that money into these secure funds just to make sure they're not going to lose a penny. I'm here to help, would love to help you out. Even if you don't go through me, check out fixed index annuities. I think it's the wave of the future because your security is guaranteed. Thanks, guys. Have a great day and God bless you.